I am notoriously bad at doing side quests. But do not fret, because today we're going to fix that. This is an accidental shot. I didn't plan this. Whoa, the sun looks beautiful. I actually have no idea where this little guy is in Olda, the Calamity Salvager. I'm currently tabbed out, but I see on the OBS view that I'm being pet. Hey. Some guy called Bango Zongo. Who is Bango Zongo? Where the heck is Bango Zongo? Oh my god, it's Bango Zongo. And Kafta Lafelin. You will never be able to equip this item. Well, I beg to differ. Where's my Fantasia? Yeah, we're grabbing the level 1 gear. Why am I grabbing the level 1 gear? Well, it's simple, really. Sometimes I just want to be an adventurer. I start with that line and I do not know where to continue from that. As you can see here, there is a bunch of yellow quests. There's a tougher than leather here. There's due diligence there. There's remembering the past here. In the putrid, there's motivational speaking. In the name of science. Basically, I'm never doing my orange quest. Why would I do orange quests when I can have a blue quest sitting at the corner of my screen forever? I'll do it eventually, just not now. So let's look at all my jobs. I have a bunch. Some I just unlock and never level. There's a few of those cases. But there's one job missing from this screen, and it's Pugilist. I think my inventory is at the ready. Kind of isn't. It's so messy and full. Do I need to have an offhand available? I already did the first quest of talking to Gangaguna, where they explained to me the history of the Pugilist Guild, but let's talk to them. Are you ready to present yourself to the Guild Master's inspection? What is he gonna inspect me? Master Mon is among the greatest pugilists of our time. For long years, the man ruled the Blood Sands as the Holy Fist. Wow, I can't read. Hollow Fist? No, that's some Solution 9 stuff. Though he has since retired in favor of training aspiring fighters. You will find him overseeing his charges yonder. Go now and show to him the fighting spirit that burns within you. I took 10 steps. You're not my errand boy. There's no doubt, sir. There never was. I'm not doing anything indecent. I swear to God, to the gods. Why? You're here to enroll? Oh, well, why didn't you say so sooner? In my capacity as the guild master, I would be glad to give you a primer on the art of hand-to-hand combat. Doubtless you already know this, but we pugilists fight with our fists and feet. While these don't deal as much damage as a blade, it hardly matters when you can land several blows for each swing of the sword. What we lack in destructive force, we more than make up for in speed and cunning. Under my guidance, not only will you master striking techniques, you'll also learn to string them together to deliver an endless flurry of blows. Only through such fierce combinations can a pugilist realize his potential. Yeah! Crikey, I'm spent from all this talking. You ought to speak more, lass. It gave me a chance to catch my breath. But where was I? Ah, right. Joining the guild. Before you do so, I must warn you that the path of the pugilist is long and arduous. Do you believe you've got what it takes to go the distance? Be honest with yourself now. Can you go the distance? Sure. I can go the distance. I can go the distance. I can go the distance. Yes, you have fighting spirit. I can see it in your eyes. I see no reason to deny you a place in these halls. Welcome to the guild, lass. To help you on your way, I'll add some names to your hunting log. Opponents that you might hone your skills against. And so as to make a budding pugilist of you, It's your own, very own pair of horror. They're tattered and rusted, but they'll serve to make you look meaner, I reckon. Now I have a mind to assign you your first lesson. Arm yourself with your weapons, and let me know when you're ready to begin. Awesome. Alright. Put on some clothes, woman. Look how menacing she looks. She's so menacing. I'm gonna have to fix this hotbar though. Also, this voice is hurting my throat. Looking every bit a pugilist, lass. Now the learning can commence. Let's get this guy's quest as well. Motivational speaking. Actually, if I get that quest now, I'm gonna forget about it. Yikes. Oh boy. I forgot to disable my Discord sounds. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I got nothing for that. Oh boy. What am I looking at? Oppo form? Raptor form? Curl form? I have no idea what those mean. Come here, you foul beast. Oh my god, the run animation. He didn't know this job is a special run animation. Every job is a special run animation. Why am I stupid? For some reason, I thought it would just be the chief run animation, I guess. The normal one. What am I saying? I guess that would make sense. Of course, it's a new weapon. I have a new run animation. That's how every single weapon in the game works. And I'm just getting the explanation on form. Unlike other melee classes, pugilist weapon skills are used to cycle 3 unique battle forms, which dictate the flow of weapon skill combos. Many pugilist weapon skills will either change your form upon execution, or require you to be a certain form to execute. There are also weapon skills which grant you damage bonuses when executed while in a certain form. The 3 types of forms are as follows: Raptor, Curl, and Oppo. By successfully changing your form from Oppo to Raptor to Curl precisely in that order, you'll be granted an increase in attack potency, as well as other additional effects based on the weapon skills executed. Swiftly flowing from one form to the next as the situation demands is key to becoming proficient in the art of the monk. Is that a spoiler? I can get another quest. I'm level 5. Go, little dwarf, go! Go, little dwarf, make your dreams come true! Go, little dwarf! Go! Go! Make your dreams come true! Hey, Hamon. My throat still hurts from doing your voice. Ah, you're back! And none the worse for the exertion. Youthful vigor is a truly blessed thing. If you want to become strong, you mustn't neglect your training. Indeed, a pugilist is only as good as the number of strikes he's dealt. So get out there, Celestia, and let your fists fly. When the time is ripe, I'll teach you something new. I'm going to get some water. You've been training hard, Celestia, Wow. But before we begin, some warming up's in order. For this, I've scattered some gil across Ulda. I want you to run around the city and pick it all up. I need to pick up some scattered gil. Okay. Oh my god, that's a banger animation. Can I see that again? Oh my god. That's adorable. Do it again. Oh. Oh. A same as earrings makes sense. I should just always equip that. Mended Imperial Pot Helm. Yokai Watch. And she's got that yokai watch. She's gonna build a supernatural arm. Why can't we play triple triad against the receptionist? Yeah, let's do it. I don't even know what my deck is anymore. Why is this my deck? Why do I have to use... Oh, I'm being forced to take one. Okay. To tie. What happened? I don't get this game, man. My deck probably just sucked. That's my money lying out there, lass. I'd thank you to hurry and pick it up for some vulture soups on it. I have it. I have it. Take it. 500 gil? Crikey, this is good for a week's worth of... I mean, well done, Celestia. So now we can go do the full combo, right? So I'm back into Oppo, then into Raptor, then into Carl. Amazing. What is this goofy ass music? Sorry, I was getting myself prepared to do the voice, and then this goofy music starts playing. What the? Now there's an issue. I do not have the levels to do the next quest. So now we're going back to what I said to start the video. We're going to be helping the people of Ul'dah with their little problems. Like motivational speaking. Gelford does not like the way you are looking at him, but will let it pass if you deliver a message for him. Hey you, I saw you looking at me. You got something to say, huh? No? Well, I do. You know Didilata? Short, broke, never pays what he owes? Yeah, that bleeding horse. That bleeding horse, son. Okay. That bleeding horse, son. Tell him to pay up, or I swear by the 12, I'll beat him so hard, it'll feel like the second coming of Dalamut. Oh my god. If I see that little shite's face, I'll end up pounding him into a bloody pulp. Like it's not. So you go and tell him. Okay. I'll tell that to Didilata. Oh my... It's lasagna bread. Hey, your face is getting fucking pounded, mate. I'm sorry. Oh, Godspeed, it's Kelper's goon! Alright, I'll give back every gil I owe, I swear, but no more beatings, beg you! That was a very useful side quest, and now he has to tell me something. Look, I haven't got the gil on hand, but I do have this ring. You need much to look at. It'll surely fetch a high price. Was be dear departed mom's wedding ring. God rest her soul, but she'll understand. Show it to Mamale over at the usher. And you'll get your coin. Oh my god. You don't need to deliver your departed mom's wedding ring. Don't make me deliver your dead mom's wedding ring. Just like become a twink on the internet. You'll get your money like that way. You'll get your money just fine. Wish to sell this heirloom on behalf of Delilah. Very well. It is most unfortunate when such drastic measures must be taken. So you know how unfortunate it is that you're taking it? And doubly so when the item in question is a fake. Okay, we're gonna punch Delilah in the face. Hey. Please, I'll get the ale, I promise. Wait, you aren't here to collect? How much debt are you in? How can the ossuary demand such exorbitant contributions every single moon? It's outrageous, I tell you. Don't they understand that the woman has needs? How do they expect me to pay for rogue and sunsilk dresses and feed my marmots? Oh, if only I'd had the foresight to marry a more ambitious man. This is all his fault. If he just worked harder and showed some initiative, surely he will be rewarded, maybe even promoted. If things don't improve, it won't be long before I join the beggars in Pearl Lane. Save me from this cruel fate, I beg of you. Speak with my husband, Bobonima, and find some way to motivate him. You should find him at the Colosseum entrance, wearing one of those ridiculous outfits. Hi, I'm Bobonima. Congratulations, you found the world's worst husband. That is, if you believe that a harpy I have for a wife. She never cooks, she never cleans, she just gallivants around spending my hard-earned money. And now I see she's speaking ill of me to bloody strangers. Well, if you're hell-bent on meddling in my affairs, you can assist me by taking some of these France de Fair flyers and posting them on the walls inside the Colosseum. How have I not been willing to do these quests before? These dialogues are amazing. I've got a long day ahead of me standing out here, so I won't be getting to it anytime soon. When you finish, go and tell Wolcon at the Gladiators Guild. He should give you something for your trouble. How have I never done these quests before? I guess I'm just subjected to this now. Ah! What have you done? Your kind has no business to even look at a lady such as I. Such shocking, unbelievable insolence. And now look at how my gil is scattered across the ground. Pick it up, right this instant. This is not even like a new... This is a new quest. Why am I talking? You know what? I guess we're doing this. Gather the dropped gil. Just later. Ah, so you've met Bobonima's wife. Now I understand. Sorry to hear you got caught up in all of that. If you ask me, they're made for one another. Now that's my place to judge. Mind any road. We appreciate your help. We did make her drop... Are gil coins really that big? How are we carrying 5 million of those? Zazariku's circlet? Just a moment, miss. Oh dear, this is so embarrassing. I'm afraid crafting the circlet to Zazariku's exact specifications has proven somewhat difficult. We ran out of garnets halfway through our work, and we are still waiting on the next shipment. I hate to impose, but would you explain the situation to Crooked Haft at the Miners Guild? My records indicate that he was supposed to deliver the gemstones yesterday. Maybe it slipped his mind? I've a mind to drain a pint, so hurry up and ask your business. Well then. So you want how many bloody garnets? 7 hells, lass. They don't grow on trees. But more than that, this lad would fancy himself the next France de Fair ought to worry less about style and more about swordplay. Any road, I'll do my part to ensure that little bastard gets protected all the goddamn garnets he can afford. And if he dies in his first fight, well, at least he'll leave a pretty corpse. And I'm getting dark matter for that. Don't I look absolutely stunning? Yeah. Amazing. Nanaji, remembering the past. Turn instead of your jaw, the dynamic presence, as if you're ever ready to leap into action. There's no mistake, you're an adventurer, and a dependable one at that. Tell me, are you familiar with the name Louis Soir Leveilleur? Of course I am. Of course you are. Forgive me my suddenness. I'm Nanaji Nonoji, a budding writer, and I seek to pen a biography of the great man. In particular, I wish to cover his movements leading up to the calamity, and to that end, I've requested an interview with the Immortal Flames. He served the Eorzean Alliance as a tactician, you see. so there ought to be someone in the Order who had dealings with him. And while my request has thankfully been accepted, there's just one problem. I don't have much experience with conducting interviews, and I'm worried whether I'll be able to do a proper job. As an adventurer, you're doubtless used to dealing with people, thus I would like to ask you to accompany me in the capacity of an assistant. It would be tremendously reassuring to simply have you watching on. And if you're amenable, afterwards I'd like to interview you as well for your own impressions. For your troubles, I'll be certain to credit you as a collaborator, so please, won't you help me with my biography, that the memories of the calamity might be preserved for future generations. I'm in your debts. To begin with, please come with me to Camp Drybone in Eastern Fanland. There's a place I'd like to visit ahead of the interview. Should I be going there at this level? Should I be going to East Fanland at this level? There you are, to explain why we're here. Oh, but I haven't asked your name. How am I supposed to credit you if I don't even know that much? Celestia von Luna? The Celestia von Luna? Champion of Eorzea? Small wonder I felt you were dependable. With one such as you helping me, everything will surely go well. But getting back to business, the interview I've arranged is with an officer of the Immortal Flames. As there's still time, however, I thought we'd pay a visit to the nearby graveyard first, so I can explain my motivation for the biography. I come from a small village near the Cardinal Flats. It was burned down in the calamity, and those who died were laid to rest here, my parents among them. It's hardly an uncommon tale. After the dread Primal emerged from Dalamut, he unleashed fiery devastation across the length and breadth of Eorzea. But as much as the calamity has scarred the realm, it is quickly becoming just another event in the history books. Beyond occasionally giving thanks to the Archons that Eorzea was saved, people spare it little thought. But when you've lost so many loved ones, it's hard to feel that anything was saved. That's why I wish to know more about Louisoix. By learning about his part in Eorzea's salvation, I hope that I will attain closure. That's my motivation for writing the biography. Now then, in preparation for the interview, let's review what is known about our subject. It's difficult to define exactly when the Seventh Herbal Calamity was set in motion. Many historians, however, point to the Empire's Meteor Project, which sought to bring Dalamut down upon Eorzea. It was the year 1562 of the 6th Astral Era. Seeking to combat the Imperial threat, Louisoix founded the Circle of Knowing, an order whose objective was the preservation of Eorzea. Through its members, the Archons of Shardian, the Circle worked to unite the nations of Eorzea in common cause. The result was the formation of the Grand Companies in the Free City-States, the Immortal Flames, the Order of the Twin Adder, and the Maelstrom. None of these would exist now were it not for their efforts. And then in the year 1572, when the situation was coming to a head, Louisoix himself made the journey to Eorzea in secret and engaged with each of the nations. What took place during that time is what I seek to learn in the interview. The man we're due to meet is the contact of the Free Brigade. The man we're due to meet is the contact for the Free Brigade. The man we're due to meet is the contact for the Free Brigade, a unit formed of the adventurers, and he apparently had Louis Soir's assistance for a mission. The meeting place is Highbridge, to the northeast. It's more or less time now, so let's make our way there. You're the ones who seek an interview. I must say, I wasn't expecting to see the champion of Eorzea. I'm Nanaji, the rider who made the request, and Celestia is kindly accompanying me for the interview. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to humor me. Come now, no need for the thanks. Like everyone, I hold Louis Soir in highest esteem. If you wish to know about him, Hallin Aubrey is always glad to oblige. Without further ado then, let us begin. My understanding is you had dealings with Louis Soir. Could you please tell me the details? As you know, our grand companies were formed thanks to the Circle of Knowing, but it wasn't until Dalamud began turning red that Louis Soir first appeared. It began with the word that an elderly Elzen man had come to Gridania, who held the key to vanquishing primals. Upon learning of this, I sent an adventurer of the Free Brigade. Why can I not say brigades? I sent an adventurer of the Free Brigades to make contact with him. I later learned that the Maelstrom and the owner of the Twin Adder had done the same. At that time, our companies weren't yet collaborating. Each one only fought to stay ahead of the others. If truth be told, at first we didn't think much of Louis Soir, only that he was the leader of the scholars who studied peculiar prophecies. But when the adventurer reported back, our opinion of the man completely changed. With his spellcraft, Louis Soir had opened the way into Ifrit's domain, and by the hand of dauntless adventurers, the Lord of Inferno was brought low. Alas, many defeats preceded that victory. It was reported that countless charred corpses lay strewn in the bowl of embers. Now the mission also yielded a shocking revelation. Following the battle, Legatus Niall von Darnus of the 7th Imperial Legion appeared, and told the adventurer that the hour of reckoning was at hand, that Dalamud would soon fall and cleanse the land. That was when we realized that the Empire was behind the Red Moon's anomaly. So thanks to Louis Soir, you came to be aware of the Meteor Project. Still, it doesn't seem like you had much to act upon. As you say, afterwards we scrambled to learn all we could about the project. For our blessing, we had the cooperation of a Garlean defector, Sid Garland, whom you know well. He revealed the details of the project that utilized the transmission tower to pluck Dalamud from the heavens, all for the purpose of purging us savages from the realm. I could continue telling you what I know, but from this point on, there is someone better suited than I am. If you are interested, I would be glad to introduce you to this individual. What say you? Well now, we'd be keen to speak with this person indeed. Very well, I will send the word to the Adder's Nest. If you could take yourselves to Upkalu Falls, I will arrange for a meeting there. To go to such lengths to help us, I can't say how grateful I am. Do not mention it. As I said, I hold Louis Soir in the highest esteem. He was the one who brought our three nations together, and nothing would please me more than for him to be remembered. Well, it's past time I return to Ul'dah. I pray that the coming interview bears you fruit. And thanks to him, we have another promising interview. Come, let's head to Gridania, where the Archon had sojourned. Getting farther away. So this is Upkalu Falls. The conspicuous lack of the creatures aside, it's quite a beautiful place. Now then, the person we're about to meet should be along shortly. I was told there were those who wished to learn about Louis Soir, and who should one of them be but the champion of Eorzea? Well met! I'm Lieutenant Zero Folk of the Order of the Twin Hadder. Hadder? Okay. Nononji, at your service. Thank you for sparing the time to speak with us. Think nothing of it. I must say, though, that Lieutenant Aubrey chose the perfect spot for the subject matter. Louisoix spent much time in rumination here in the days before the calamity, we Gredonians being somewhat reserved by nature. At first, the citizens kept their distance, but in time, people warmed to him. He patiently lent an ear to their troubles, healing hurts and offering counsel, and gradually earning their trust. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Louisoix spoke those words and lived up to them. He was the epitome of the Charlatan sage, and I recall myself being moved. Now, shortly after we had become aware of the Meteor Project, the hamlet of Quarrymill was attacked by the Primal Garuda. Both soldiers and civilians were among the casualties. The Order of the Twin Adder moved to vanquish the Primal, but we were not alone. Through Louisoix's mediation, we had the support of not only our sister Grand Companies, but capable adventurers the realm over besides. Using an artifact known as the Vortex Feather, the Archon opened the way for a band of adventurers to sally forth into Garuda's turbulent domain, where they felt the fearsome being. Upon her defeat, however, the primal dispersed ether did not return to the land. Instead, it was absorbed into the Red Mud and Dalamud. And when the Empire constructed a new base in Mordona, the Elder Seedseer saw the need for decisive action and put forth a proposal. The formal reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, which had for so long lain dormant. The initial response from the other nations was lukewarm at best. They felt that the burden to be borne by each party was excessive, and they were loath to do aught that would place them at disadvantage against their rivals. But the revelation that a lunar transmitter had been erected in the Imperial base prompted a change of heart. The tower controlled Dalamud's descent. If it could be destroyed, then the Meteor Project would be forestalled. After having constantly been on the back foot, our nations were motivated to join hands, that we might strike a decisive blow against the enemy. Thus was the Eorzean Alliance reformed, as the Circle of Knowing had hoped. At the same juncture, Louisoix was asked to join the Alliance as a tactician, and in that capacity, he provided sage counsel to our heads of state. So although he was at first treated with wariness, Louisoix earned our trust through his actions, and paved the way to enduring cooperation between our nations. Indeed, were it not for him, we all would have perished divided. We owe Louisoix a great debt. Now then, I expect you might be interested in hearing about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. But for that tale, I recommend you seek out another, a decorated shoulder, who actually took part in the operation. Although a hardened warrior, she is quite friendly and should be able to regale you with her experiences. Shall I send her word on your behalf? We'd be duly grateful. Very well. If you could take yourselves to the Maelstrom Command in Limsa, I shall see to it that she knows to expect you. With that, I shall take my leave. I pray that the biography is a success. I don't think I really addressed that I'm just walking everywhere. It's kind of a mix of... These zones are just really beautiful when you're not flying. The Realm Reborn zones specifically are not designed for flight. And there's some cases with, for example, if you fly in southern Fanaland, you can see the gold saucer, except it looks like really small. And there's just a lot of details that you don't really notice if you teleport and fly everywhere. I never noticed the mountains in the background of Fanaland. I'm gonna be real, that's new to me. I'm setting a limit on myself for teleporting and flight. Not airship flights, that's still normal travel. I meant flight as in mounts. I'm gonna go everywhere on foot. And it's my video, so there's nothing you can do to stop me. Lieutenant Von Luna, ever a sight for sore eyes. And you must be Nanaji. Rash... I hate pronouncing Mikote names. Rashat Riki. Rashat Riki, at your service. I understand you wish to hear about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. Indeed, I'm penning a biography of the Archon Louis Sois. You see, for which I'm interviewing people who had dealings with him. I truly appreciate your time. You're very welcome. I'll be glad to assist, even if it wasn't a request from Lieutenant Folk. Now then, to continue where he left off. It was shortly after the Eorzean Alliance was formed. Our scouts returned with word that the 7th Legion had activated the lunar transmitter in their fortress in Mordona, now known as Castrum Sentry. The fortress was originally called Castrum Novan before the 14th restored and renamed it. It was in order to break through its defenses and destroy the transmitter that our three nations joined hands, and we were determined to succeed. The strategy that Louis Sois proposed was elegant in its simplicity. While our main force drew the Guardians' attention with an all-out siege, an elite band of adventurers would infiltrate the castrum and make our objective. We had entrusted adventurers with ridding us of the primals. Now we entrusted them with the very fate of Eorzea. I still remember the operations as if it were yesterday, though we met with fierce resistance. We fought more fiercely still. No matter the cost, we had to ensure that the adventurers had a chance to strike at the transmitter. And when the messenger arrived bearing word that they had succeeded, it still makes my heart sore to recall that moment of triumph. That day, we learned that, by standing together, the people of Eorzea could oppose even the might of the Empire. It is no exaggeration to say that that victory paved the way for Eorzea's future. Without it, there would not have been an Operation Archon. Alas, it wasn't all glad tidings. For though we destroyed the transmitter, Niall von Darnus appeared and claimed that he no longer needed the device to bring down Dalamut, that he himself had the power to do so. So long as Darnus lived, the threat of destruction remained, and so, branding him an enemy to all life in Eorzea, the nations of the Alliance undertook a desperate manhunt. At length they located him in Kurfus, and sent their greatest warriors to hunt him down. Leading that formidable band was the adventurer whom they called the Warrior of Light, and though no records remain of the fierce encounter, one thing is certain: at battle's conclusion, Niall von Darnus was brought low. As you know, however, our woes did not end up with the White Raven, for Louis Sois and his disciples determined that Dalamut would continue to fall. In a last-stage bid to prevent the realm's annihilation, the Circle of Knowing issued a request to the Eorzean Alliance to secure the Cardinal Flats, where the Red Moon was expected to crash. It was no simple task, for the entirety of the 7th Legion had amassed in Cardinal, but it was necessary in order to perform a ritual to stop Dalamut, a ritual that invoked the power of the 12. So it was that the Battle of Cardinal was joined, and I dare say you know how the tale continues. To everyone's shock, the Elder Primal Bahamut emerged from Dalamut, and proceeded to unleash his fury upon the realm. Aye, and though all bore witness as Louis Sois initiated the ritual, none remember what came to pass afterwards, neither what happened to Bahamut, nor why the realm was reborn. The haze that afflicted memories of the calamity, but people remember events prior to that moment, yes? If so, do you know if anyone was near Louis Sois during the battle? Someone who may have spoken with him? If someone was near him, I'm afraid I do not know. He was atop a rise for the ritual while I was a good distance away from the front lines. My apologies. No, please don't apologize. You shared a wealth of information, and I couldn't ask for more. Well, if you're satisfied, then so am I. With that, I shall return to my duties. I look forward to reading the biography when it's finished. Now I have a grasp of events leading up to the calamity, and yet... Oh, forgive me, I was deep in thought. In no small part due to your help, I've managed to learn a great deal. But there is still more that I wish to know. Might I trouble you to accompany me a little longer, if you're willing? Please let me know. Our research proceeds apace so far. We've even learned things not found in literature. But tell me, based on what you've heard from our interviewees, what is your opinion of Louis Sois? He had a difficult task. Indeed. From an Imperial invasion to rampaging primals to Niall von Darnus' scheme, he had to contend with the toughest of problems. What struck me was how grateful the interviewees were to Louisoix for bringing their nations together in cooperation. It was nothing short of necessary for our survival. Yet in knowing this, I can't help but wonder. In his capacity as a tactician, it seems to me that he had done more than enough by devising a plan and facilitating its execution. He went far beyond that, risking life and limb on the front lines for a land not his own. Perhaps he needed to be there for the ritual. Perhaps he felt a sense of duty. Even so, as noble as it is to desire to help others, what good is it if you end up sacrificing yourself? What was it that compelled Louisoix to go to Cardinal, and what went through his mind as the battle unfolded? In order to do his biography justice, I feel I need to know these things. If Louisoix had people near him at the time, perhaps he shared words with them in his final moments, words that could provide some insight. But where to begin searching for such individuals, assuming they exist? Sorry friends, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Just so happens I am a bloke and I served among Louisoix's guard at Cardinal. Truly, you know someone who was with him? Aye, and as far as I'm aware, he wasn't keeping this fact a secret. Just for good measure though, why do you want to speak with him? Louisoix's biography, eh? In that case, I reckon the bloke would be willing to cooperate. Orn Guincum is his name, and he was a lieutenant of the Maelstrom. After the calamity, they turned to adventuring, so as to be all greater help to the common folk. A Maelstrom officer turned adventurer. We'd be most keen to speak with him. Where might he be found? When Orn dropped it in the other day, he said he had business at Morby Dry Docks. If you're lucky, might be he's still there. Understood. We're in your debts. We can't let this chance pass us by, Celestia. Let's take ourselves to Dry Docks at once. Right, where could Orn be? In hindsight, we should have asked what he looks like. His name would suggest he's a Midlander. Well, nothing for it but to make inquiries. Let's split up for the task and meet again here. I'm sorry, but I've only just started helping out here. I'm still learning our customers' names. I couldn't say if it's the person you're after, but a man did come by earlier who appeared to be an adventurer. He brought an Nemea lily that we're currently trailing. Looking for an Orn Guincum, you say? Don't know anyone by that name, I'm afraid. I did walk by an unfamiliar fellow just now, though over by the mark of the spinner. He had a flower in his hand, so he caught my eye. Orn? As it happens, I spoke with him just earlier. He said that he wanted to buy flowers, so I directed him to a vendor. Not sure where he is as of now, though. Begging your pardon, sir, but are you Lieutenant Orn Guincum? I haven't been a lieutenant for years, but aye, that's me. What can I do for you? So you're writing Louisoix's biography, and want to hear my account as someone who was near on hand at Cardinal. There must be a reason that you're here too, the warrior of light who led us to victory in Operation Archon. Very well, I will tell you my tale. I don't think that's canon to Celestia's story. Now then, where to begin? As you know, the battle was fought over the land where Dalamud was expected to fall. In the beginning, neither side was able to gain the upper hand. But when the Imperials deployed their Magitech armor, our ranks were thrown into disarray. Those charged with protecting Louisoix like me could only watch the carnage from afar. And though our forces managed to hold out thanks to the adventurer contingent, we sustained grievous casualties. But the real tragedy was what followed. As Dalamud hurtled towards us, it began shedding fragments of itself before finally bursting open to unleash the primal Bahamut. As all below looked on in shock, the battle completely forgotten, Bahamut took wing and spewed fire all over the land. Men and Magitech armor alike were set ablaze and sent flying like so many insects. I only realized that I had stopped breathing when a commanding voice broke my trance. You've done enough, Louisoix told us. Now fly Fly and save yourselves. But like my fellow guards, I wanted to remain. I couldn't charge into battle with beside my comrades. At the very least, I would do my duty here and protect Louis Swat to the last. But upon seeing us standing there, not making to move, Louis Swat smiled and spoke thus: "If you would give your lives to protect something, then protect my hopes. Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope, bright and brilliant. So live, I bid you, and among those who bear the light of others to follow." Those words awakened us to a greater purpose. If there was hope in my living, then I would live as Louis Swab bids. No matter what, I would survive. And so, together with my fellows, I began making my retreats. Alas, we hadn't gone far when an explosion erupted and sent us sprawling. I struggled to my feet just in time to see the enormous, menacing silhouette of Bahamut looming over Louis Sois. In the next instant, he was enveloped in light, and that was the last I remember of him. Louis Sois' final moments. Amidst that light, he looked to be smiling. What he was thinking in that moment, I couldn't say. But one thing is certain, we all of us are alive thanks to him. Following the calamity, it was reported that Louis Sois had defeated Bahamut and said about the lad's miraculous generation. Do you believe this to the truth? Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope. What we've learned has reaffirmed my belief, Celestia. The belief that Louis Sois was not an all-powerful savior one reads about in tales, but merely an ordinary man. But that man never forsook Eorzea. No, he stood for this realm to the last. He and countless other brave souls, and saved it from becoming a scorched waste. Against unimaginable adversity he fought, and at the cost of his life, paved the way to a brighter future for us all. The least I can do in return is to tell his story. Spread his message that, where there is life, there is hope. Thanks to your account, I believe I found an angle for the biography. I'm truly grateful. Would you care to offer a prayer as well? The prayer that the light of hope, which Louis Sois preserved, shall ever burn bright. There you are. I ended up troubling you longer than I had intended, but it was truly fruitful series of interviews. How fortunate that we could hear from those who lived that fateful time. While I still have my many questions, the biography is beginning to take shape in my mind. I also feel as though I've attained a measure of closure. Louis Sois fought simply as one of us, and he made the ultimate sacrifice that hope might endure. This I've come to realize and appreciate, thanks to everyone's heartfelt testimonies. Now then, last but not least, I'd like to ask you for your thoughts on something. According to Orn, Louis Sois smiled in his final moment, as he was enveloped in the light. What do you imagine he held in his mind? I see. I appreciate your thoughts. As I pen the biography, I'll be certain to remember your words. Well, sad though it is, it's time for us to part ways. I'll set to work on a draft, and I won't rest until the biography goes to print. Thank you for all your help, my friend. I couldn't have come this far without you. That was a nice quest line. Though I feared I may have gone on too long. I should log off. I should log off.